Hey, ladies and gentlemen, today I wish to discuss something of national importance because, as you all know, we only have one Kenya, we only have one country, and we owe it to ourselves to make sure that Kenya remains not just a peaceful country, but also one that is prosperous, where anybody who sets themselves to achieve any dream, be it excelling in business, be it excelling in academics, be it upholding our own psychological aspirations in terms of loving ourselves and having a great self-esteem. We always hope and pray that, we ensure that our country lives up to those standards. What happened on Monday was rather unfortunate. It's unfortunate because we are engaging in an act of desecration of the very national fabric that of the last 6 years we've worked so hard to weave together. After 2007, we are pretty much getting a second chance. We had a nation that had deteriorated in 2007. Kibaki shook hands with Raila and continued to build a nation. We came to the brink of deterioration again in 2017, and patriotic folks like Raila and Uhuru came together and shook hands. They said that we may disagree, we may have our own differences, but Kenya is greater than any of us in isolation. And for that reason, we have no option but to work together. Fast forward to 2023, we do know what happened last year with the elections. It's questionable as to whether UDA won fairly, and that election remains disputed. As we talk, the election remains disputed. Now, let me get to the crux of the matter that has informed my engagement in this discussion. It surprises me that every time Central Kenya is engaged in an aspiration, because what is happening in the country right now with the raising of taxes, with a poor business climate, Central faces the greatest threat. But there is never shortage of people to use to undermine the community aspirations. What we are seeing with Ichung'wa and Ndindi Nyoro and Rigathi Gachagua is totally in opposition of what the Central Kenya feels. And so they are engaging in diversion, in mental games, to continue to retain focus on Uhuru, because they believe that they are in this station of their political life because hatred was diverted towards Uhuru. And they don't want the current economic environment to be held against them. But nothing can be further from the truth. Uhuru left power, and the people who should take responsibility for guiding Central Kenya towards this predicament is none other than Rigathi Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoro, Ichung'wa, and a host of others that may not make it to this list. We had JJ Kamotho during the KANU days, and Kikuyu Central was suffering. There was no markets for their coffee and tea, or rather they were being exploited and not getting paid. And the economy was in tatters. It was in the doldrums. And Kibaki was trying to work hard. Kibaki and Matiba were trying to work so hard to liberate the community from that yoke of oppression by the KANU regime. Then there was somebody like Kamotho, Chotara, And at one point you had Gigi Karaoke, who continuously undermined the community interests. Gigi Karaoke, in his book Illusions of Power, talks about how being saddled in the corridors of power, he started forgetting about where he came from. What is happening now is you have Kimani Ichung'wa, Dindi Nyoro, and Rigathi Gachagua playing the same role of undermining the community interest and standing in the way of the community towards economic and national liberation. It's a very unfortunate thing that we have, considering that Uhuru Kenyatta was personally involved in the political developments and growth of these individuals. I would call them clones of Uhuru Kenyatta. And so for them to actually attack his person and make statements that would inflame tensions and probably lead to the attack we had on Monday is a very sad thing indeed. Just wait and see. And what I can say is that the reason why Uhuru remains the target, because Uhuru is the only unifying factor. As soon as Uhuru gets out of the picture, then I think UDA is afraid that there will be infighting among the UDA leaders within central Kenya for regional dominance. So the only unifying factor is Uhuru, that it's everybody ganging up against Uhuru Kenyatta. The strategy is that Uhuru is not supposed to recover politically, and that he's supposed to be projected as a player in this political pawn, political game. He's supposed to be the political pawn in their schemes. That like this all-powerful man who, despite being quiet, despite losing control of all Jubilee MPs, continues to be so powerful behind the scenes and is able to use his deep pockets to finance the activities of Azimio. That, to me, is disingenuous and very bad for our fledgling democracy, very bad for our country, for goons sent by political henchmen to go and terrorize personal property.